Hi, this is Abdul Aziz Khan, and this is my third video in this series of video on some financial terms related to telecom operations. So, as we had discussed in the previous videos about the fragility of ARPU, we discussed that ARPU trend is very necessary to check before if you want to go in and do some kind of investigation in any market. You need to know the trend, and we saw that the trend may be very fragile. I mean, it may be increasing very rapidly, or it may be a bit constant as well. So we can have three kind of trends very simply. I mean, one trend should be an increasing trend, that your ARPU is going high year after year, it's going high and high. Another could be a constant ARPU, so that your ARPU is not changing with time. You have, for example, 3 or 5 year history of data, and you see that there is no significant change in ARPU. And last is decreasing ARPU. It's a very general thing that we should discourage a decreasing ARPU. I mean, if a country or a company has a decreasing ARPU, then this is a kind of problem. But still, we have to see that what is the reason. Sometimes maybe decreasing may not be that bad. Sometimes even increasing may be bad. So let's see that how, for example, how increasing can be bad. I mean, if ARPU is increasing, it looks like, for example, if you have an increasing ARPU, so it should be a good market. But let's see, maybe increasing ARPU is a deceiving number. So, for example, you have an increasing ARPU and you check, you see that the revenue is also increasing and the users are also increasing. So you have increase in everything. So this, you can say that this is the best type of thing that you can have, that your ARPU is increasing, your users are increasing, your revenue is also increasing. So we will say that this is the best type of thing that one can get. And if you have to make a decision based on this kind of scenario, then it should be you can say a better decision, that okay, we are in a market which has a progressive trend. But sometimes what you see, for example, if you see that the ARPU is increasing, but when you go and check the actual data, you find that the users are also decreasing and the revenue is also decreasing. Apparently, this may look a bit weird as well, that how it is possible that you have a decreasing users, you have a decreasing revenue, and you have an increasing ARPU. So this, as I had told in my previous videos as well, that ARPU is a tricky thing. I mean, it's estimated value, and even though it's a good value to start with, but just working on this value may be deceiving as well. So how come these two things are decreasing but ARPU is increasing? Because you remember, ARPU is only an average revenue per user. It's a very small number depicting a big company. So for example, your user are decreasing and your revenue is also decreasing, but the rate of the decreasing in revenue is lower than the rate of decreasing in users. So I mean, for example, you have a revenue of 9 billion, and from your 9 billion your revenue goes down by 1%, and your users, they were, for example, 9 million, and 5% of users, they also went down. So even though your revenue and your user both went down, but still your ARPU will go up, because when you will calculate the numbers, you will find that if there were 100 users giving 100 rupees, now there are only, for example, 50 users, and now they are giving 90 rupees. So initially you were getting only 1 rupee as ARPU, now you are getting 1.8 rupees as ARPU. So even though your users and your revenue both are going down, but your ARPU is going up. So you should not be deceived by this kind of increasing trend of an ARPU, because sometimes your user churn is a bit faster and your actual revenue churn is not that faster. I mean, it must not, I mean, follow the exact trend. Maybe your initial users who have left your company, they are not the highest paying user. The highest paying users, they will take some time before they change the company. So that's why sometimes this ARPU may deceive you as well. And sometimes your users are getting lower and your ARPU is your revenue is getting higher. I mean, this is one can say that this looks a good thing. I mean, but I have put it in orange because this is not good. I mean, the good on is only this one here. If your users are going down and your revenue is still increasing, but frankly speaking, it should not remain the same for a lot of time. I mean, because the decreasing users should must have some kind of effect. Maybe it's the late, as we said in this above one as well, that okay, users are going down, but the revenue is not going down that fast. I mean, so here it's a bit different from this, that users are going down, but revenue is going up. So you have increasing ARPU. The increasing should be much higher than these two, maybe, but still it's a gray or a very dangerous area. I mean, so in the same way, for example, if you have a constant ARPU, now we can have the same scenario. I mean, you have increasing users and you have increasing revenue. So now the rate of increase of users and revenue, for example, if it is same, they are increasing from the same rate, then you will have a constant ARPU. So this constant ARPU should be taken exactly in the same way as this increasing ARPU, because the fellow indicators are exactly the same. I mean, you have increasing users, you have increasing revenue, so you can build on it even though your ARPU is not increasing, but your the main ingredients of the ARPU, they are increasing. So this is the same thing as this, and it should be also taking in the same spread. But for example, if you have a constant user and constant revenue, so this is, it means that you are in such a market which is stagnant. I mean, you are in a very developed market. For example, you are in some European market or you are in some US market, which is quite much developed now, and now growth is not very easy. So if you want to invest or if you want to do something in this kind of organization, then you need to be very much innovative, because it means that there is no free thing available in the market. So you have to bring something new. I mean, if you want to go for this kind of market, then you must bring with you something that okay, if we capture this market, then what new thing we will bring. And this is the same. I mean, for example, you have a decreasing users and you have a decreasing revenue, but again, as we said here also, the rate of decreasing is almost the same. So now you see these two, they are giving you a constant ARPU. I mean, so you should not be deceived. This constant ARPU is very dangerous and this constant ARPU is very good. So you should know that which kind of constant ARPU you are going to get, and you should act as per that. You should not take the ARPU value only. So for the last part of decreasing ARPU, so there may be this strange kind of fact that you have increasing users, you have increasing revenue, just like these two, but your ARPU is going down. So as we said, that this may be the reason, may be that the users are increasing with a very high rate and their revenue is not keeping pace with the increasing user. This kind of organization, if you are working in it or you want to invest in it, you should know that what are the cost. I mean, what are the variable cost in this company. Maybe they are not doing the costing, or maybe they are not bringing such kind of packages that give them, because this increasing user, it must have a toll on the network. Not maybe not today, maybe after a few months or years, because for these increasing users you must have to expand your network, but your revenue is not increasing in the same manner. So from where you will bring the money to invest on increasing your network strength? So this kind of market should be investigated with some more deep dive, and you should see that how you will cope up with this kind of place. Now if for example you have an increasing user and you have a decreasing revenue, this is, I will say that this is the worst of all of these, because we know that in operations of a telecom company, increasing users, every user has a cost. I mean, if your users are increasing, your costing should be your cost, or your running the operation, the operational cost of the company, they should be increasing. And at the same time, if your revenue is going down, then it means that you are in a very bad position. So this, even though this is a decreasing ARPU, but it's more worse than the upper one. And this kind of environment, or this kind of uh, company, if you are going to invest, or if you are just thinking of taking this company, then the decision should be based on very, you can say that very good numbers, because apparently this shows that the company has some real big problems. So the last one is that you have decreasing users and decreasing revenue. It's very simple thing that decreasing users will bring a decreasing revenue, because your users are going out, so your revenue is also going down. So this is in the same as not same as the above. I mean, above is more challenging in some ways. This, the last one, this shows that you are in a market which is, you can say that either the competition is very high, or the dynamics of the market, they have changed a lot, and you are not able to understand those dynamics. If you are working in such a company, then you must see that what are the heroes of the market, what they are doing. I mean, the company who are leading that market, what they are doing. And if this is the problem with almost all the companies in a market, then it means that the market has some bigger problems, some economical problems. You are in a country where the economic things are much different. I mean, for example, there may be some kind of what we say, that there may be some sanctions on that country, or the country is having some bad time, it's because of wars, or any other things. So that's why you are not getting something good out of it. So this kind of market should be also investigated with the same kind of concept, that okay, what we should do if we have to go in the market, then we should learn the economics of the market, and we should act accordingly. So hopefully this I think this is a bit longer than my usual, because I had thought to make it between 5 to 10 minutes, but because this has a lot of flavor, so I had to cover all of it. But I am sure that this should be very good for you. You should have learned something from it. So keep in touch. Do let me know that if you, what you learned, and if you have any question, please uh, put the question in the comment section, and I will reply. So see you in my next video. So see you again. Goodbye.